Welcome to Castified. Today, we're plunging into a story that really gripped the globe, a truly unsettling tale. It's about intricate deception, shattered trust, and this just explosive public release of deeply private moments. We're talking about the Sister Hong scandal. Our mission in this deep dive is, well, to peel back the many complex layers of this case. We'll explore the elaborate deception itself, the internet's explosive and honestly often disturbing reaction, the profound human cost to the victims and ultimately what it reveals about online identity, privacy, and our increasingly digital world. We want to move beyond just the sensational headlines, and with our expert here, try to truly grasp the deeper implications for all of us, really. So let's unpack this. The initial draw of Sister Hong online was, well, incredibly powerful. She cultivated this persona, a seemingly ordinary divorced woman, maybe late 30s, living in Nanjing. Her online presence felt meticulously designed. It conveyed vulnerability, a quiet strength, and this gentle, approachable smile. It just made her feel instantly relatable. She'd write about her everyday life, the rhythm of things, her longing for a genuine connection, even shared bittersweet memories from past relationships. This whole narrative made her feel incredibly authentic, like a stark contrast to the often superficial world of online dating. She seemed so real.
And that carefully constructed authenticity was precisely the trap. It's what drew people in. The shocking truth, of course, was that Sister Hong wasn't a woman at all. She was actually a 38-year-old man named Zhao. And this clarifies some earlier rumors that he was much older, like over 60. That wasn't right. From his apartment, Zhao operated as a kind of digital puppet master. He meticulously built rapport, not just with dozens, but eventually hundreds of men. He'd spend hours learning their individual desires, their unique expressions of loneliness, systematically earning their trust through thoughtful, personalized replies. It was a complete fabrication, designed, from the ground up to ensnare.
And these online interactions, well, they culminated in invitations for these men to meet Sister Hong in person, the location, a specific place that would soon become, well, infamous, Zhao's own home. And this wasn't just a few isolated incidents either, was it?
Oh, not even close. The sheer scale of this deception is truly staggering. While some initial reports suggested this wild figure, like soaring past 1,600 men, authorities later clarified the number was likely not reaching 1,000. But I mean, even at that lower estimate, it's still an undeniably massive number of individuals, just huge. Every single one of those men believed they were stepping into a private, consensual encounter with a lonely, divorced woman, seeking intimacy, connection. They had absolutely no idea they were walking into a meticulously planned operation where they were the unwitting subjects.
What's truly disturbing here, I think, is the sinister core of Zhao's entire operation. Every intimate encounter, every private moment shared. It was basically a performance for a secret audience. A hidden camera was always rolling, silently documenting everything, turning genuine human connection into, well, raw material.
Exactly. And these recordings weren't just personal mementos for Zhao. They were trophies. A vast, disturbing collection of stolen privacy. Imagine it like a massive, illicit archive of personal moments, a library of secrets compiled without any consent. Zhao was, in essence, a perverse kind of content producer. And these men were simply unwitting actors in films they never, ever agreed to be in. The interaction wasn't about building a relationship at all. It was about creating material for his own twisted satisfaction and, as we'll get into, profit.
And then the explosion. In early July 2025, this digital dam just broke. The videos weren't just leaked somehow. No, they were systematically sold, packaged, and marketed across these clandestine online forums and private messaging groups. They transformed from private moments into a viral commodity.
Yeah, and this brings up a really critical question. What happens when private humiliation is just thrown onto the global stage with zero filter? These videos spread like wildfire, just boom, viral with zero censorship on platforms like Telegram, reportedly garnering over 200 million views, which is insane. And they quickly spilled over to Weibo X, Instagram, everywhere. The sheer speed and reach of their spread were breathtaking, leaving the victims with absolutely nowhere to hide.
So after all this, what became of the men? The ones whose privacy was so brutally violated. Let's turn our attention now to that devastating human cost.
Well, the immediate fallout was an extreme invasion of privacy, just total exposure. These videos were in high definition. Victims' faces were clearly visible, their most vulnerable moments captured for the entire world to see. And then came the doxing. Strangers on the internet became these digital detectives, relentlessly working to uncover victims' identities, their names, workplaces, family details, even home addresses. They were quickly posted on public forums, completely compromising their real-world safety, plunging them into just profound fear.
That kind of exposure must have just completely decimated their personal relationships.
Oh, absolutely. Relationships were shattered on an unimaginable scale.
Yeah.
We heard one particularly heartbreaking story, an anecdote about a woman whose engagement was destroyed after she discovered her fiancé among the men in these videos. And that was just one story. You have to imagine countless marriages were broken, families torn apart by this overwhelming shame, this profound sense of betrayal. Beyond romantic partnerships, too, their professional lives were also often in ruins. Being recognized by a boss or a coworker could easily lead to ostracism, maybe immediate job loss. The stigma of the scandal became this invisible, permanent brand on their lives.
And the psychological toll, I can only imagine. It must have been truly immense.
It was devastating. The deep psychological impact included crippling anxiety, profound depression, persistent paranoia. This wasn't just, typical anxiety. It was this deep, gnawing fear that every whisper, every glance could potentially be from someone who had seen their most vulnerable moments online. And to compound this terror, this chilling rumor emerged that Sister Hong was an HIV carrier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, adding this layer of mortal fear to the public humiliation. The Nanjing Center for Disease Control and Prevention actually had to step in, offering free, anonymous, confidential health screenings. The agonizing wait for test results became this period of excruciating limbo. It was a stark acknowledgement that the consequences went far beyond digital, posing a direct threat to their physical health, too.
It's just horrific to consider. But that leads us to the mind of the deceiver himself. What kind of individual could conceive and execute such a vast, intricate deception? What was Zhao's inner world like?
Well, what's truly fascinating here, I think, is the stark contrast of Zhao's double life. By day, he presented himself as just this ordinary man, seemingly indistinguishable from anyone else, right? Yet in the privacy of his apartment, he underwent this profound transformation, meticulously stepping into the persona of Sister Hong. And this wasn't a simple lie or, a fleeting catfish scheme. This was the long-term maintenance of a complete alter ego. It demanded deep, almost obsessive commitment. He had to think, talk, even embody the characteristics of this woman he'd created.
So it couldn't have just been about the money then. That seems almost too simplistic for something this elaborate, this high stakes.
Well, money was undeniably a significant financial driver. I mean, Zhao was, in essence, running a clandestine business. Illicit content like this can be highly profitable, which explains the systematic filming and distribution.
So he was selling it.
Yeah, it seems so. But you're right, it feels incomplete as the sole motive for such a complex, risky undertaking. Many analysts believe there were much deeper psychological currents at play. At the core of his compulsion, many think, was this profound desire for power and control. Zhao held all the cards right. He knew his victims' most intimate secrets while his own remained hidden. The secret filming was the ultimate expression of this dominance. It allowed him to possess their vulnerability in a way that granted him immense power. It's speculated that he perhaps felt powerless in his own life and therefore constructed this elaborate fantasy world where he was all-powerful, a master manipulator pulling the strings. There was also likely an undeniable thrill of the chase, the sheer excitement of living on the edge and what must have been a godlike feeling of successfully manipulating so many people. Every man who fell for Sister Hong was like a victory, a profound validation of Zhao's cunning. And finally, some observers speculate on the role of identity itself, his choice to create and embody a female persona. Maybe it was a way for him to explore a part of himself he felt unable to express in daily life, or perhaps an escape, a way to experience a different kind of social and sexual interaction through the guise of Sister Hong. It's complex.
Okay, so legally speaking, what's next for Zhao? What kind of consequences does he actually face under Chinese law for this kind of elaborate fraud and exploitation?
Well, Zhao was arrested back on July 6th, and he was promptly charged with crimes related to producing and distributing obscene materials for profit. His case falls squarely under Article 363 of China's criminal law, which deals specifically with these kinds of offenses. And the severity of punishment, it escalates significantly depending on the circumstances. For what they call especially serious circumstances, which Zhao's case undoubtedly embodies, given the sheer volume of content, the incredible number of victims, the widespread public disorder caused by the video's distribution, and the large-scale for-profit enterprise he ran.
Right.
The law dictates a sentence of no less than 10 years imprisonment, and potentially up to life in prison, along with substantial fines or even the complete confiscation of all property. So the digital empire he meticulously built will now likely serve as the primary evidence leading to his incarceration for a very, very long time.
This raises another important question, though. How did the public react? both in China and internationally once this scandal broke. It's not just about the victims and the perpetrator, is it? The reaction itself says a lot.
Not at all. You're right. In China, the public reaction was kind of a chaotic mix. Sympathy and scorn, really revealing these deep societal fissures. On one side, you had people who saw the men as unequivocal victims. Their trust was monstrously violated, arguing no one deserves such a brutal destruction of privacy. Fair point. But then there was an equally loud chorus of victim blaming. Many accuse the men of likely being married or in committed relationships themselves, arguing their poor judgment made them at least partially culpable for their own downfall.
That's a tricky line.
It is. And this contentious debate rapidly became a national conversation. It shone this harsh light on profound loneliness and social alienation that, unfortunately, can push people towards risky online spaces. It also brought China's long-standing gender imbalance into sharp focus. Decades of population control policies had created a significant surplus of men, leading to intense competition and immense social pressure to find a partner. The Sister Hong case, in many ways, became this dramatic, unsettling illustration of those complex social pressures just bubbling beneath the surface.
And how did the rest of the world perceive this unfolding tragedy? Did they grasp the nuances, the human cost?
Internationally, it seems the Sister Hong affair was largely treated as, well, a bizarre spectacle. The profound human tragedy often got lost in translation, replaced by sensational headlines and, frankly, morbid curiosity. What's truly unsettling here is how online communities, often disconnected from the immediate pain, turned Sister Hong into a caricature. The story became raw material for countless memes, jokes, AI-generated parodies. It demonstrates how real-world suffering can be flattened into disposable, even humorous content in the digital realm.
Yeah, we even saw this called out directly on platforms like Reddit, didn't we?
Precisely. On the Pop Culture Chat subreddit, a user, Urzasterberry101, shared this powerful post titled, "Everyone's reaction to the Sister Hong case is disturbing." This post explicitly called out the trivialization and, importantly, the illegal distribution of these videos. Many Reddit users expressed deep concern about homophobic and transphobic reactions bubbling up, and this alarming trend of even teenagers sharing it as just the viral meme of the week.
Wow.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, the Sister Hong case really serves as this potent, universal cautionary tale for our digital age. It's a stark reminder that online personas can be these carefully constructed masks for dangerous intentions, and that the line between the digital world and the real world, particularly when it comes to privacy and reputation, is just perilously thin.
This deep dive has truly laid bare some profound lessons. The immense, often invisible power of digital deception. The absolutely devastating real-world consequences for individuals whose privacy is shattered, and these unsettling ways society and the internet process human tragedy.
Yeah, and this raises an important question for all of us, doesn't it? What is our responsibility in consuming and sharing content online? This story should really compel us to think critically about what we see, what we click on, what we share. It forces us to consider our collective part in preventing the normalization of exploitation and mockery, especially when real human suffering is involved.
So, here's something to think about. In an increasingly digital world where the lines between reality and deception blur by the minute, what is our collective responsibility to protect vulnerability? And how do we ensure that shocking viral stories prompt meaningful reflection and empathy, rather than just fleeting amusement and further exploitation? It's a question that Sister Hong's story really forces us all to consider long after the headlines fade.